we go. Tied at 10, not anymore. This time ratified is down. Here in double 02. We'll go ahead again inside. Tampa Bay Gators are going to crash hole 19.
Time is happening. And the title of since 2000.
Well, CDL fans, it is time for the May 11th game day to be underway in just a bit. It's the last game day of the 2016 regular season where the Development League has the day off. They got to play throughout till the end now. So that being said, no Development League scores to go through here on this May 11th game day. But some interesting things going on playoff race-wise. Chicago and Philadelphia, two teams that have clinched the playoff spot with just 5 game days left to go here. And a few teams out. San Diego, Seattle, Puerto Rico, Miami, and Atlanta all eliminated from playoff contention. But today, opportunity does knock on the door for some teams. Got a whole list of scenarios to go through. New Jersey would be eliminated from the playoffs if they lost, or if Gowanda and Green Bay get an OT loss or better, so they pick up a point, or if one of those happens and Cleveland wins, or if Buffalo wins too. So that's stuff to look into. Detroit and Milwaukee are eliminated from the playoffs if they lose, or both Green Bay and Gowanda win. Hartford is eliminated from the playoffs with a loss and a Green Bay or Gowanda win. Green Bay and Gowanda wins. Tampa Bay would clinch their division with a win and a Washington loss. They would need both. Philadelphia can clinch the Northeast division with a win and a Boston loss. Chicago can clinch their division with a win and an Idaho loss. Dayton clinches a playoff spot with a win, so that's all they need. San Francisco would clinch a playoff spot with a win and a San Jose tie or worse. Los Angeles can clinch a playoff spot with a win, and they would need Nashville, Portland, and Phoenix to all lose. And matters of fact, they just would need certain circumstances to be just right, because it might go down to tiebreaker, so they might not even need all those teams to lose, quite frankly. Just depend on how many points the 9 seed has, and right now it's just kind of unpredictable to see where it's going to lay. So many teams so close in points. Matters of fact, only 3 points separate an 8th seed from 11th seed right now. St. Louis would be eliminated from the playoffs with a loss, or Nashville, San Jose getting a tie or better, or even a Portland win would knock them off. Houston would be eliminated with a loss, or Nevada OT loss or better. San Antonio would be eliminated with the loss. Minnesota eliminated from the playoffs with the loss. A lot of teams, Dallas and Denver, facing just about the same scenario with the loss and a San Jose or a Nashville win. Boston can clinch a playoff spot with the win. Cleveland, with the win and a Cleveland, Buffalo, Bradford, and Washington loss. So plenty of scenarios to go through. But of course, a game day where things are going to work themselves out, we would assume. Cleveland Wolves, San Francisco Shinobis going to be starting off this edition of CDL Live. Let's get you down the field. Welcome, CDL fans, down to the field. Yes, it is time to smash off our May 11th edition of CDL Live. Only 5 game days left in the regular season. And boy, the scenario list is a long one. If you don't believe me, from here on down, yes, it has really tiny print right there. I understand that, folks. But those are all the different scenarios that could happen on this here game day. We've got the Cleveland Wolves on the road to take on the San Francisco Shinobis. This is the game that starts us off here on this May 11th game day, and San Francisco is on one of these little scenarios right here. They would clinch a playoff spot with a win and a San Jose tie or worse. So pardon me there. Got the burps going. But yes, with the San Jose tie or worse, and with the Shinobis win, they would clinch a playoff spot. As for the Cleveland Wolves, they play a part in many a different teams' playoff questions. So New Jersey, one of them, and of course maybe I think Detroit, Milwaukee, maybe, or Hartford. Anyways, they play a part or a role in many a team's playoff hunts and chances. But needless to say, it should be a fun game here between the Cleveland Wolves, who should most certainly be treating this matchup like a playoff game, and the San Francisco Shinobis, probably thinking the same way. Cleveland comes to this game with a record of 16-13-0-4. That has the Wolves at 52 points on the season, just 2 points out of a playoff spot. They are the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. They are tied for that spot with the Buffalo Warriors, who are right there with them in the 10th seed. So, but just 2 points behind 8th seed Gowanda as of right now, coming into this game day, trying to keep the pressure on the Gowanda Outlaws and, yes, the Green Bay Dragons as well. As for the San Francisco Shinobis, 71 points are on their season from a record of 23 wins, 8 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses. Like I said, 71 points. They sit second place in the Western Conference. They are trying to keep up the pace with the first place team in not just the West, but the league, and that would be the Chicago Wind Attack. 3 points ahead of the Blades for first place in the Pacific Division. And of course, they do own the tiebreaker. But like I said, trying to get one step closer to clinching a playoff spot. And maybe if they were to get a win today, of course, they would need a little help. But it might just help get them into the playoffs here by the end of this game day. So that being said, all the talk that you need to be talked is talked out. So there's only one thing to do. Smash out. Let's get a look at the lineups. Cleveland Wolves, San Francisco Shinobis.
Attack the leaf villages where my crew be. What is it like to be a shinobi? My ninjas feel you for your filming. Katsuki.
So here we go, leading the way for the Cleveland Wolves. It is Junk in the Trunk, and it's F3 out there to meet them from the San Francisco side, and game is on. Both cars staying up and switching sides now, and now both cars are down. We got a 5-5 game between the Wolves and the Shinobis. So now the middleman coming out to the field here. It's Aqua Ferrari for the Cleveland Wolves, and for the Shinobis it is going to be Spectite Jr. out there for them. And Spectite Jr. has a good flip right there, and the score 10-5. Shinobis are in the lead. Ooh, we have a lost wheel right there. We have a lost wheel on Spectite. So, well, on Spectite Jr. I don't know where the wheel went. I'm not quite sure where this wheel went. It went flying off somewhere, but the Shinobis will be disqualified unless they use a timeout, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So, we are going to take a timeout because this could be definitely a lengthy fix. I wonder if he still had the wheel at the start of the game. Maybe we can look in the replay to kind of track the wheel where it went off to, but needless to say, yeah, I don't see it in the bag there. He had it last time I saw him, but we are going to take a timeout. Shinobis timeout for repairs. When we come back, the score, 10-5. San Francisco in the lead. Well, folks, we are back from what was definitely a lengthy timeout, but how do I say this about Spectite Jr.? My Spectite Jr., what big front wheels you have. Those are his new wheels that he got in the wheel replacement, and we'll see how they hold up to the test here. It is a 10-5 game, and now Spectite Jr. goes for the win against Bully Goat. Bully Goat getting some hard collisions in here, and that time that looked like he bounced off one of the new wheels that is on Spectite Jr. He's got that big blunt front end now and the interference right there. Just wonder how it's going to affect his play in the long run, perhaps. If it'll help, if it'll hurt. I mean, the big wheels out there like that does leave him vulnerable to strikes. That much is certainly obvious. But putting up a good fight right now against Bully Goat. Both cars actually putting up a good fight. A lot of defense on the field for both teams right now. Spectite Jr. and Bully Goat matchup continuing. And that time, both cars again staying up. Almost an interference there. But now from opposite sides. And this time, Spectite Jr. It gives a new drag spot for him on the visitor side. But he has a good flip right there, and the Shinobis have the win. 15-5, the final score. They defeat the Cleveland Wolves. So a great game for San Francisco right there. Able to get the job done. Had to use the timeout in the process. Get Spectite Jr. all fixed up. But he comes back out into the field, and he is on fire today. So, simply said, 2-0 day for Spectite Jr. as he gets the job done. Shinobis with a huge win over Cleveland, 15-5 the final here. Let's get a look at where they stand now. They will move up to 74 points on the season. And yes, with the San Jose loss, or actually maybe even with the Nashville loss, I believe actually San Francisco has clinched a playoff spot, but because of the spot that San Jose's in, to where they could be passed for the 8th seed today and then be with 59 points at the 9 seed, San Jose's in a spot to where they can still catch San Francisco. So it would take a San Francisco tie or worse for the Shinobis, or a San Jose tie or worse for the Shinobis to clinch a playoff spot, basically. That would still need to happen, but they are one win away on the next game day from clinching a playoff spot, even if the Storm win. So what comes up in that next game day? Well, the Shinobis will be home against the Nevada Thunder on the May 13th game day. A little Pacific Division showdown, so that's what lays ahead for them, is they improved today to a record of 24-8-0-2. Cleveland, unfortunately for them, 16-14-0-4. They stay at 52 points. Now Gowanda and Green Bay got the chance to increase the lead on them, and Buffalo, Washington, and Bradford actually even, they all have the chance to move past the Cleveland Wolves into the 9th seed spot. So a tough loss for them. Their next game on tap, May 13th game day. They are going to be home, actually. I believe they're going to be home. Yes, they are going to be home. Home against the Cleveland Wolves, or home against the Jacksonville Bengals. The Wolves will be on the May 13th game day. But that being said, we got more action on this May 11th game day. Got some highlights coming up, a lot of stuff going on. And when we get back, it's going to be time for our mid-feature, Battle of Brothers, as Matt Giesser's Phoenix Firebirds hosts Tim Giesser's Philadelphia Demons. Matt is Tim's older brother. The two brothers go head-to-head in our mid-feature. Coming up after the highlights. That being said, let's get you back to the curtain. Well, folks, a 15-5 win for the San Francisco Shinobis, so they are pretty much right there on the precipice of clinching a playoff spot if they actually haven't already. They could do it with the win and a San Jose tie or worse, so we got to kind of wait on what happens there. Of course, the San Jose Storm in action against the Bradford Brawlers. I believe that's going to be in the second set of highlights, as a matter of fact, but we got the first set of highlights to go through, and then it'll be time for our mid-feature, Phoenix Firebirds and Philadelphia Demons. Then after all that, and after the second highlights, Tampa Bay and Chicago in our main event. So a lot to look forward to, but let's get you to the first set of highlights. So it's a cross-conference day, and we start the highlight reel. Atlanta and St. Louis. The Twisters needing a win to temporarily keep their playoff hopes alive at the very least. Not looking good there. Black Marinello getting the quick flip on Mr. Freeze, but you saw his pitcher. Rowdy would be here to play. Out there against a car with a similar style to him, Black Marinello. Solid heavyweight cars, but Rowdy wins the battle. Ties the game up at 5. Now out there against Clown. Clown more of an aerodynamic car. Trying to find the edge, can't find Rowdy's edge. So, the score 10-5, and now out there against 40. Looking for the win is Rowdy. 40 trying to tie this game up, and it's not meant to be for 40. No soup for you, says Rowdy. Getting the job done, going 3-0 from the middleman spot. And St. Louis could still be knocked out of the playoffs today. That's just simple fact. But needless to say, able to get a huge win right here to, at least for now, keep them alive. Again, they could be knocked out with other teams winning. But a great 3-0 day for Rowdy. Twisters getting the win 15-5 over the Atlanta Avengers. So we move on, the Lightning trying to play spoiler to the Mob, and it was Toyota and Dirty Snow both going down there, so aerodynamics cancel each other out. Smash Mouth style cancels each other out as 7 Series and Monty Jr. go down. So Teardrop and Cartman. So we go to lightweight defense. How will this work out, folks? Well, let's find out. The battle was a good one. Both these cars displaying their defensive skills, and we see again right here, and an even better one right here. Unbelievable stuff. Take another look. Somehow, both cars able to survive there. They continue to go at it. The fight between them both very strong, and they both take each other out. 15-15, we go into overtime. Hot Tub Jr. for the Mob. Hot Goat, the rookie, of course, for San Diego, trying to do something for the Lightning, but in the end, off screen, Hot Goat is indeed down. A good day for Hot Tub Jr. doing what he had to do. Goes 1-0, gets the game winner in overtime. 20-15 the final. Much needed win by the Milwaukee Mob, getting the job done. 20-15 final in OT. They defeat the Lightning. So moving on to the matchup between the Mafia and the Reapers. Big game for Indianapolis. I think every game at this point is, and off to a good start. Blue Indy taking down Monkey, 5-0 Reapers in the lead. So now going for the 10-0 lead, but Neon tying it up for Miami. And he and GoldZ28 would have quite a fun battle. Look at this nice little sweet move. It was like a little stunt move there by GoldZ28, able to stay up and in the fight. And he would continue it on here for quite a while, him and Neon. And of course that lightweight defense, GoldZ28, doesn't come in handy for him today. Neon getting the flip on him. I know I misled you. But anyways, moving on to Phoenix looking for the win. No soup for you. Phoenix tying the game up at 10. So the rookie Phoenix taking on the rookie Aqua Chevelle. Both cars from the captain's spot here. And that was over quickly. Aqua Chevelle getting the quick flip. And then almost as quickly does get taken down there by Supra. So Supra forcing overtime for the Reapers. They definitely need a win here. Mach 6 out there to meet up with Supra. And my goodness, get a replay of that. That was the game winner right there. Defense on display. High flying defense from a heavyweight car. Supra coming through big time in OT. 20-15 the final. Don't mind the crash cat here. Jumping off of stuff here, causing a racket in the background. But 20-15 in overtime. The Reapers getting a win over the Miami Mafia. Big win for Indianapolis. So we move along. Detroit Devils needing to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Nevada Thunder trying to keep the 7th seed in the West, or maybe even move up. And you saw his pitcher for a reason. Black Dragon on point today. Gets the flip on White Indy to start things off. Now takes on Yellow Spider, going for the 2-0 start. And indeed, he would get it. So out there against Hornet, looking to serve donuts for dinner. But Hornet, 2015 Rookie of the Year, says the bakery is closed. Gets the flip to keep Nevada alive in this game. Now goes head-to-head with Cloud Cutter. Two good defensive cars going at it here. Both able to stay up on the first couple of collisions, as a matter of fact. But in the end, we are going to see both cars succumbing to each other's game plan, if you will. So Padawan now set up for the win if he could get it against Grasshopper. And on the first collision right away, Grasshopper going down. Padawan getting the job done. No overtime for the Thunder today. Just a great teamwork day by the Detroit Devils. 2-in-1 day for Black Dragon, followed up by just a single tie by Cloud Cutter. And then Padawan finishing it off with the game-winning flip. 15-10 the final. Thunder get the win, or Devils get the upset win over the Thunder. So on we move now to the Buffalo Warriors and the San Antonio Kings. Kings needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive, and not looking good right there. Black Testarossa 2 taken down at the hands of Green Blaze, but hey, RPG tying it up. But enter Tyrell, who brought his offensive toolbox with him to the game today, as we see him getting the flip right there. 10-5 Buffalo in the lead, and now out there against Motoblade Jr., who's been pretty strong as of late. Keep in mind, had a great game in the last game day, but no soup for you today. Just a tough flip for Motoblade Jr. to take there, because that has officially knocked the San Antonio Kings out of the playoff hunt. A great game, though, for Tyrell. Goes 2-0. Buffalo Warriors getting the big win right there. They're in the playoff hunt, too, keep in mind right now. Just hunting down a spot. 2-0 day for Tyrell. 15-5. Buffalo Warriors getting the win over the San Antonio Kings. So the Puerto Rico players are out of the playoff hunt, but don't tell them that. Don't tell this guy that. Green Blaze Jr. out there against RDO2 of the Idaho Cowboys, who are currently holding down a playoff spot. It was tied up in Puerto Rico there. RDO2 going down and MX Dragster immediately following. Yes, 2-0 day for Green Blaze. Look at his moves. Green Blaze Jr. looking good today. Now goes for the win against Governor from the Idaho side. Upset City. Getting the flip on Governor there. Yeah, Puerto Rico's eliminated from the playoffs, but Idaho came into this game day 5th seed in the Western Conference, folks. Unbelievable stuff. Huge upset there. Play is getting the win over the Idaho Cowboys. 15-0 the final score. Donuts served for dinner. Easy trip to the bakery. 3-0 day for Green Blaze Jr. So moving on to a crucial game for both these squads. Gowanda Outlaws, Houston Oilers, and Lamborghini was a car stepping up for Gowanda today. The 8th seed of the Eastern Conference right now. He took on Nickel and Diamond, got a flip on him, but of course the Oilers, you would figure they'd be playing tough right now. They know if they lose, the playoff hopes are smashed, done with. I mean, they might be eliminated by the end of the day if they don't get the win. They're down 10-0. You just saw a white Ferrari going down. So, enter Racer X now, and Racer X keeping the Oilers in the game now goes head-to-head with Sonic Boom. So two lightweight defensive cars. Look at this move by Racer X, somehow able to stay up. I was about to say aerodynamic. They're not really aerodynamic, but they can sure make you think of with little flying glances like that. But in the end, Racer X getting the flip, and we were tied at 10. So a 2-0 start for him, but now he takes on Hammer, heaviest car in the league. And that one, it was called that it was interference. So we took another look, as you saw there in slow motion. There wasn't interference on the play, and folks, yes, the ruling on the field stood. It was an official review, so no team was challenging it, and the play would continue between these two, tied at 10, and a good hit right there. You see that heavyweight style. I mean, all credit to Racer X by Hammer. Look at these moves. First off, Racer X somehow staying alive there, but you see the weight of Hammer just too much. Takes down Racer X. 15-10 Gowanda. Looking for a much needed win, but both teams did need this win. And here we see two cars that are kind of a smash mouth style, playing like they're lightweight defensive cars. Somehow, someway, both of them staying up throughout the fight, but in the end, Hot Wheel Vec gets the upset flip on Hammer. Forces overtime where he'd face Cockroach. Cockroach, known for his defensive skills though. They have shunned in the past, but not today. Hot Wheel Vec getting the flip, and the Oilers pulling off the upset. Gowanda able to walk away with a point from this game day. Could be helpful, but the Houston Oilers, for the meantime, do hang on to their spot in the playoff race. Of course, certain teams win, like San Jose, Nashville. If they win later on, they'll be done for it. But a great day for the Oilers here. 2-0 day for Hot Wheel Vet. 20-15, they upset the Gowanda Outlaws in overtime. So we move on. Green Bay Dragons trying to keep 3 points ahead of the Warriors up against the Seattle Lumberjacks today. And it was Shell against Mantis to start things off. And after just a few collisions, it's all it would take. Shell's offense prevailing there. 5-0 Dragons in the lead. And then right there, interference, so that would keep Buzz off back on his own side. But it wouldn't matter. Shell getting the flip. He starts 2-0, now takes on the rookie Dark Dragon, who's been spectacular as far as what he can do. He gets the flip right there, but runs into Inquisitor here, another rookie just like him. But needless to say, the offense from Inquisitor proves to be just too much for Dark Dragon. Able to get the flip in a great teamwork day by this Green Bay Dragons squad, who are trying to hunt down the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, currently sitting 7th, but a big win for them right here today. No doubt about it. 15-5 the final score. They defeat the Seattle Lumberjacks. 2-1 day for Shell. The 1-0 game winner day for the rookie Inquisitor. And now we end our first set of highlights. Jacksonville Bangham's Minnesota Maniacs. Critical game for Minnesota, knowing they're only maybe a loss away from being eliminated from the playoff hunt. And not looking good right there. Testarossa getting the flip there on Diablo 2. Now moving on to Red Racer in their lineup. Takes down Red Racer. A 2-0 start for Testarossa. Hey, Banghams are in the playoff hunt too. trying to play spoiler for Minnesota here, but Black Spinebuster getting jammed up there. Both cars will continue to go at it. This was just a great battle. Testarossa and Black Spinebuster, certainly a classic matchup to watch here, as these two made it an instant classic as far as single fights go. But Black Spinebuster getting the flip, which brought out Zap, and Zap says his IHOP is open for business because he's getting flips quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House. Getting the job done right there. 2-in-1 day for Testarossa, and then the 1-0 day for Zap at the end. 15-5, Bangums get the win over the Minnesota Maniacs. So, folks, we took you around the league, and you saw everything that the first highlights had to offer. You saw some teams maybe get eliminated from the playoffs and whatnot, and some maybe getting a little bit closer to clinching their spots. But it's time for the mid-feature, a big game. The Philadelphia Demons on the road against the Phoenix Firebirds. Now, we know Boston has to play against Roswell. That's going to be in the second set of highlights. And, of course, Philadelphia could clinch the Northeast Division with both a win and a Boston loss. But keep in mind, Boston, they got to have a reason to play today, no doubt, considering they can clinch a playoff spot with the win. But down the field for our mid-feature, Philadelphia Demons, Phoenix Firebirds. And welcome back down to the field, folks, for our next game here on our May 11th edition of CDL Live. Next featured event, the mid-feature, Tim Giesser's Philadelphia Demons, Matt Giesser's Phoenix Firebirds. It's a battle between the brothers here on this May 11th game day, cross-conference game day to boot on top of things. But needless to say, a big game for both sides is, of course, the Phoenix Firebirds trying to stay in the hunt for the Southern Division title, but really right now focusing on playoff spots. The Firebirds coming to this game day one game out of a playoff spot, just sitting 3 points back of both the San Jose Storm and the Nashville Nighthawks for that 8th seed. So big game for Phoenix right here today from 11th place. And as for the Philadelphia Demons, a big game for them as well. Now, the Demons are one of two teams that have already clinched a playoff spot, and by the end of this game day, the Shinobis might also have a playoff spot clinch. It's a possible one. It's a very possible one. But needless to say, as of right now, two teams that we know for sure, Philadelphia and Chicago. Chicago has a chance later on in our main event that's going to be coming up. With a win, they can clinch the Central Division due to Idaho's loss. Well, the Demons can clinch the Northeast Division as long as they win and Boston loses. So Philadelphia looking to do their part, and that's their reason to want to win this game. Current first place team in the Eastern Conference and second place in the league, as long as they can get a win here today. So big matchup, Philadelphia Demons, Phoenix Firebirds. Let's get a look at the lineups. Well, folks, the front runners are on the field, and yes, we got some fresh grease on the field yet again for these teams, and maybe we'll see if it helps them a little bit better. But needless to say, I could already tell he was going to have a tough time rolling. Silver Malene is having a tough time rolling all season. We'll see how he does against Green Arrow from the Phoenix Firebird side. Two cars of legendary status in the league, Silver Malena and Green Arrow going at it here to lead off this game. Still scoreless after a couple of collisions, and this time we do have to get a little bit of help on this. I think Silver Malena will be awarded the home side of the field. But we are measuring this one out. And indeed, this will be the case. Silver Malena most certainly closer to the home side of the field here. So, Silver Malena will switch sides with Green Arrow here, and their fight will continue. Still a scoreless game, big game for both cars, and well, for both teams, I should say. And a big matchup right now for both cars. Silver Malena, what a move right there. Mama put him in a K-pop video. And yes, keeping opposite sides here. Green Arrow and Silver Molina continuing their battle. Green Arrow able to retake the home side of the field. The fight continues, switching sides yet again. A good matchup, and this time a grazing shot. Silver Molina stays clean right there, no interference. Green Arrow is down. So, 5-0 Demons in the lead, and now coming out for Phoenix is Mika. And Mika's a pretty solid car, and my goodness, is this a right away? He got jammed in there. I think he actually got jammed. Yeah, that top part of Silver Molina is starting to come up. Might see some separation again. This time no interference, so it comes close. Mika and Silver Molina are both down right there, and the score is now 10-5 in favor of the Demons. That brings out Pink Indy for the Philadelphia Demons to take on Stock 34. Two good defensive cars, and Stock 34 quickly tying the game up at 10. So Demons and Firebirds tied at 10 apiece, and that brings out the rookie Green Demon. He's been a heck of a player this year, and in his rookie season, able to stay up there. Switch to the home side. This time, close to an interference, but they're back on their own sides anyways. Both cars still up, and not anymore. Green Demon taken down. The Firebirds have a lead. 15-10, they lead the Demons, looking to put this game away. The rookie Hawkeye out there for Philadelphia, trying to force overtime. Can he do it? And both cars, yes, they will keep their own sides and go at it again. Getting a little lodged in there, and this time around, both cars down, got to get back up, and they will switch sides here. So, because they have a little rule, and yet again, both cars able to, not able to stay up. Hawkeye had the chance, couldn't land upright. Had he landed upright, we would have seen overtime. This time around, a graze shot right there. Stock 34 staying up, and folks, it is official. The Phoenix Firebirds winning this game over the Philadelphia Demons. 15-10, the final score. So no division title for the Demons on this game day, unless, no, they would have had to win, and they would need Boston to lose as well. But now Boston just has a chance to close the gap a little bit, as does New York, as a matter of fact. They got a chance to close the gap a little bit. As a matter of fact, though, for the New York Empire, we know this much. We know the Empire need to get a win today, or they indeed are eliminated from the division title hunt. That much we do know. I don't think Boston's in quite that dire of a position yet, so they'll be looking to close the gap, no doubt about it. But 15-10, the Firebirds getting the win over the Demons. Phoenix, as a matter of fact, because of that win, they go to a record now on the season of 19-13-0-2, and Philadelphia falls to 23-8-1-2. So definitely a tough loss for the Demons to take there. A great win for Phoenix, though, as they go up to 59 points, and hey, they are challenging for the playoff spot right now. Of course, San Jose and Nashville tied for the 8th seed at 59 points. So Phoenix joining the big party, if you will. So a great win for the Firebirds, and Matt Giesser's got a little bit of bragging rights on his little brother here today. 15-10 the final here on CDL Live. Phoenix Firebirds getting the win over the Philadelphia Demons. Both teams going to be in competition on the May 13th game day to close out the second to last week of the regular season. Philadelphia Demons next game, they will be actually home against the New York Empire. Philadelphia will be. As for the Phoenix Firebirds, they will be on the road against the Minnesota Maniacs, trying to still, again, keep playoff hopes alive and keep things going. But a good win for Phoenix here. Coming up next is our main event. Tampa Bay Gators on the road against the Chicago Wind Attack. Tampa Bay might win the Southeast Division today if they win, and we don't know if it's going to happen yet, but Washington, their game against Nashville, if Washington loses and Tampa Bay wins, Tampa Bay will win the Southeast Division. This much we know. We know Idaho got beaten a shutout, so Chicago with a win can clinch the Central Division. So two teams that could be possibly playing for a division title in our main event here on CDL Live. It's the Gators and the Wind Attack. What else can be said? Defending Eastern Conference champions up against the current first place team in the league, at least coming into this game day. So you're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Well, folks, it's official. The Demons might clinch the playoff spot in the last game day, but they can't find a way to get a win here today. And Phoenix ruined a few teams' chances of perhaps clinching a playoff spot today by getting the win themselves. 15-10 final there. Some good action, some good stuff from the Phoenix Firebirds getting the job done at home against a very good Philadelphia Demons team, no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, the Dayton Rebels and the Portland Panthers, I think, are going to be in the second set of highlights too. You can check on that one, because if Dayton wins that game, they are going to the playoffs. It would be a done deal. So that being said, that going on with a whole bunch of other highlights, the last 9 games that we have to go through. So let's go through the second set of highlights, and then we'll be back for our main event. Tampa Bay Gators, Chicago Wind Attack. So on we move to the second set of highlights. Bandits trying to stay alive in the playoff hunt. They need a win to do so, and they got a 5-0 lead on Dallas, with Kid Custom taking down Watsup. But quickly, the favor is returned by Gray Indy, who's going all out today. As we see him here against Pink Lamborghini, he would indeed be able to get the flip right there. So Gray Indy giving Dallas a 10-5 lead, is of course Dallas still in the playoff hunt, but Power Pistons now trying to keep the Bandits alive. Number 1 overall pick of the draft. They drafted them for situations like this, but it doesn't work out here in 2016. That flip made it official. The Bandits had been eliminated from the playoff hunt. Dallas keeping their hopes alive for now with that victory right there. A good 3-0 day for Gray Indy, getting the job done. 15-5. Lone Stars get the win over the Bandits. Moving on, Carolina 14th place in the East, Denver 14th place in the West, and Purple Custo leading the way for them here against Dragon Jr. and the Carolina Wildcats. And after a couple collisions, had a flip on Dragon Jr. 5-0 Denver. So enter Mellow 51. He gets taken down. 2-0 start for Purple Custo and going for the shutout, but runs into Wen. Wen denies his trip to the bakery. So 10-5, and now it's 24 hours looking for the win against Wen. But these two would have a fantastic battle, as you are about to see. Of course, Wen trying to tie the game up, and look at that move he had to pull off. As you saw it in slow motion, the battle was continuing after that, though, as both 24 Hours and Wen went head-to-head. You see some choppiness in the camera here. I apologize for that, but try to get the best shots I could, and you can see right there a couple of fantastic maneuvers by Wen. Right here, somehow able to barrel roll his way up, keeping the fight yet again, able to stay up. So his fight with 24 Hours continuing on here, and in the end, he would indeed prevail. So Wen tying the game up at 10, now would be Wen versus the rookie Red Detta. Number 2 overall pick against the number 4 overall pick of this past year's draft. And what a show that they were putting on, but in the end, Wen would get the flip. Yeah, it's somewhat quick, but not really that quick. And returning the favor right there. Blue 5-12, forcing overtime quickly. He faced two-timer, tied at 15 in OT. What a move by two-timer. We get another look, and just somehow do a barrel roll, almost interference. He didn't need it to save himself, but this time he could have used that interference. Two-timer down off screen, and the Denver Mustangs have the win in overtime. A 2-0 day for Blue 5-12, stepping up from the 5-point gainer spot, taking down Wen and two-timer to get the win. 20-15 in overtime. The Mustangs just screech themselves by the Carolina Wildcats. Hartford Homies, New Mexico Monsters, both teams on the outside looking in right now, and it was Redemption leading the way for them as we move on with the highlight reel here, and we see Monkey Ball get sat down by Redemption right away. Enter X-Wing, putting up a good fight here. Both cars similar in their aerodynamic style, but Redemption wins out there and now takes on lightweight defense out of Futurama. There is no defense today. Donuts served for dinner as he flips them quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House on a Sunday afternoon. Getting the job done was Redemption goes 3-0. Like I said, donuts served for dinner. 15-0. Hartford Homies getting the win over the New Mexico Monsters. Moving on to the Brawlers in the Storm. A lot of teams paying attention to this one. Both these teams looking to keep up in the playoff race. San Jose, 8th seed in the West. But tough start for them. Escalade, heavyweight style, takes down Phantom there. But now enter Solid Snake. But look at this move by Escalade. Beautiful stuff. Dual barrel roll, able to stay in. And of course, Bradford unlike San Jose on the outside looking in, but Solid Snake getting the flip there, and Solid Snake was not looking back after that. Out there against Uncle Sam, down quickly, brought his spatula with him to the game. Now takes on Spinebuster and a couple of collisions in there. It was actually a little bit tougher than what I showed there. The thing is, the footage was a little choppy here and there, but needless to say, good win for the San Jose Storm. Tough loss for Bradford, who's really had the chance to catch up today in that playoff race, but the Storm hanging on to their spot in the West and might be able to actually they're going to move past Nevada if I remember correctly. A 3-0 day for Solid Snake, 15-5. They had the win over the Brawlers. So now we move on to two teams trying to keep up in their divisional races. Pittsburgh Destroyers, LA Blades, and it was Kovlai of the Blades. There's a reason we showed his pitcher. Gonna quickly get the flip there on WA-17. Now out there against Zebra. Zebra who? What? Down right away. And then now out there against Blue BMW, who just as quickly takes Kovlai out. So a 2-on-1 day though for Kovlai, but look at how quickly Blue BMW was at work. Took down Pink Indy Jr. right there. Now faces Greelina, and Greelina a little bit tougher of a customer, showing some great defensive skills. Both cars did actually, but in the end, Greelina going down. Pittsburgh in the lead, looking for the win is Blue BMW, who takes on Far Future, who switched spots with Kovlai today actually. And will it work out? Well, he ties the game up, sends it in overtime, taking on Epic Fast. Epic Fail, right there. Far Future quickly getting the flip in overtime, 20-15 the final. NOT, the Blades getting the win over the Destroyers. Great day for Kovlai, going 2-1. Far Future going 2-0 at the end to get the Blades the win in OT. 20-15 final. They defeat the Pittsburgh Destroyers. So quickly moving along here, New York Empire trying to pass Pittsburgh for 5th place in the East, taking on the 6th place New Orleans Gladiators. And yeah, you saw the opening matchup. Part of the Golden Wall Elite actually ended up saving Enzo 1 there, and yet again saves him, making interference. Hey, Black Bullet 2 ain't in the match. Well, folks, Enzo 1 would make Elite pay right there off screen. Elite is down 5-0 New York. Golden Rat now out there. And could he get through the whole entire Golden Wall? Yes, he can. Enzo 1 starting his day 2-0, now takes on Tigre. He's through the Golden Wall at the gates, and Tigre denies him. 10-5 score. Now Tigre trying to tie things up, going out there against Challenge. And this one, very close. Off-screen, Tigre is down. But was there an interference? The Gladiators would actually challenge it. So we'll get a look at the replay here. Close to an interference. Didn't see no movement out of any of the cars on that New Orleans line. Challenge steer clear of them, and the ruling on the field stands as called. New Orleans not going to be ashamed to lose a timeout there. It was that or the game, but needless to say, it was the game right there. 15-5 the final. Enzo 1 having a tremendous day, going 2-1, gets through the Golden Wall no less, and Challenge just finishing things off. Goes 1-0, 15-5 the final. The Empire get the win over the Gladiators. So moving on now to two teams on the outside looking in their respective conference. Nashville Nighthawks home against the Washington Patriots, and off to a good start. It's a Kodak moment. You got the flip on Red Ferrari Jr., but the favor is returned by Landlord, and makes a little moment himself. Now out there against No Fear. Game tied at 5. Two aerodynamic cars. No Fear gets the upper hand. 10-5 Nashville. But now that is Ratitude out there for the Patriots. And it would take a little work right here. But in the end, Ratitude able to get the flip on No Fear. Tied at 10. Ratitude now out there against Extinguish. A back and forth game going on right here. Two lightweight defensive cars. And Extinguish, there's a reason why he's known as the unflippable one. He does things like this. My goodness, Mama, put him in the K-pop video. That was like putting on the front brakes on your bike, and he's able to just somehow stay up in the end, but does get taken down. So Ratitude now looking for the win. Not going to happen. Orange Chevelle starting at the 5-point gainer spot. Forces overtime. Goes out there against Black Phantom now, and shattered, scattered, and splattered all over the place. Yes, get another look at that in slow motion. Black Phantom, not a good start for him today. So Washington uses their one and only timeout. Black Phantom goes through the repairs, back out there in overtime here. Almost has a flip. Good barrel roll maneuver. And yet another one by Orange Chevelles. He kept in the fight and would get the flip. His efforts being paid off. And with that win in San Jose also getting the win, folks, that punches a bunch of teams out of the playoffs. I believe Dallas might be out now, maybe Minnesota, San Antonio, Houston, St. Louis. Like, there's a whole bunch now that are for sure eliminated from the playoff hunt just with that flip right there, that game right there. 20-15 in overtime. Nighthawks getting the win over the Patriots. A 2-0 day for Orange Chevelle. Moving on along, the Boston Vandals and the Roswell Aliens. Aliens trying to widen their lead over their division, but Blue Dragon 2 knows they want to try to catch up to the Philadelphia Demons in the Northeast Division. As far as Boston's case goes, a little interference right there as he took on Dragonfly and would have a flip on Dragonfly right there. Now against F1 Racer from the Roswell side. Sets him down real quick. Brought a spatula with him today as he was at work now against Spectite and has a flip on Spectite. Quite an easy, unexpected easy trip to the bakery for Blue Dragon 2 as the Boston Vandals served donuts for dinner. They shut out the Roswell Aliens. Now, folks, two very evenly matched teams in my opinion, and the Aliens just plain right out, flat out, did not show up. 15-0, Boston getting the win over Roswell. A 3-0 day, a great day for Blue Dragon 2. So we end off our highlights. Dayton Rebels and the Portland Panthers. It was Zapper leading the way against Purple Fire from the Portland side. Both cars up there. I believe it was interference too. But in the end, Zapper getting the flip on Purple Fires. Of course, Dayton with the 5-0 lead now make it 10-5. Zapper going 1-0-1, setting up Sub-Zero to get the win against Who from the Portland side. And what a battle these two would have. Who brought his A game, no doubt. Definitely throwing out a good effort. I mean, look at this move by Who. My goodness, Who making a great, fantastic save defensive maneuver, but playing maybe a little bit too much defense in this game. Gets taken down right there, and a beautiful move by Sub-Zero to get the win. Panthers really struggling as of late, as you see right there. Who goes down. Sub-Zero getting the win. The Dayton Rebels continuing their quest for a Northern Division title, something that they have not won since 2008, their very first season in the league. But they get the job done here against the Panthers. 1-0-1 day for Zapper, and then the 1-0 game-winning day for Sub-Zero. And yes, now it's time to head to our main event, but one more trip to the curtain. So folks, that being said, we saw some things, and with Washington getting an overtime loss, that actually kind of ruins it for Tampa Bay. But Chicago, by all rights, could still maybe clinch that division. Of course, Idaho did take a loss today, so the Wind Attack, if they can get the win here, home against Tampa Bay, they'll be Central Division champions, and it will be for, I believe, the 6th straight season, as a matter of fact. Yes, 6th straight season that they will have won their division title. So a big game for Chicago and for Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, is Tampa Bay, of course, looking to not just get one step closer to a division title, but also playoffs in general. They still haven't done that yet. It's just the division that they're in, the Southeast, kind of weak. So it's looking like the Southeast Division champion could be the only team from that division to make the playoffs. Whether it will play out that way or not, we don't know yet. But let's get you down the field for our main event. Tampa Bay Gators, the defending Eastern Conference champions, on the road against the defending 5-time back-to-back Central Division champions, the Chicago Wind Attack. Let's get you down the field.
This is game time, and it's game time, and the madness fly. Show the strength that just can't be defined.
And welcome back, folks, to CDL Live and some statistical information before we get to the main. Like at Tampa Bay, what all they needed to clinch their division was a win, and Washington lost. Well, Washington lost, but because it was an overtime, because of it being an overtime loss, they cannot clinch the division with a win here, but they can get just 1 point away from doing so. So that 1 point that Washington got gonna screw everything up for Tampa Bay as far as clinching the division title. But the Gators can get one step closer to possibly clinching a playoff spot. As a matter of fact, they are only 2 games away from doing so, 2 games away from clinching a division title. They can get one step closer here in this game on the road against the Chicago Wind Attack, who do have a chance to clinch the Central Division title. Idaho took a loss today, so with the win, the Wind Attack will be the Central Division champions with the win. So, big things on the line for both the Wind Attack and, of course, Tampa Bay Gators, who are eyeballing the division title of their own in playoffs, of course. So, of course, Chicago already has that playoff spot clinched, but they are also trying to keep first place in the league. Of course, the Shinobis able to get a win to tie up with them. So, Chicago trying to do their part to stay ahead. So, that being said, Tampa Bay Gators, Chicago Wind Attack, folks, it is our main event here on this May 11th edition of CDL Live. Let's get a look at the lineups. Folks, it is main event time, and the front runners are on the field. 48 hours out there for the Tampa Bay Gators. For the Chicago Wind Attack, it is R out there. And it is game on here in our main event of this May 11th game day, and it is a 5-0 lead for the Tampa Bay Gators. 48 hours getting the flip, and now goes head-to-head with Blue Dragon from the Chicago side. Both these cars new additions to their team this season. Blue Dragon in 48 hours, but off screen, 48 hours is down. So, down cleanly off screen, and now it is ratified out there for Tampa Bay. Game tied at 5. Kind of a smash mouth versus aerodynamic offense. Both cars able to survive that one. This time a little wobbly by ratified. Able to stay in the game, as is Blue Dragon. This time both cars are down, and we are tied at 10. And here come the boys from the captain's spot. Highlight out there for Chicago. You could tell him by the piece of tape that wraps around the middle there. And that is 47 Ronin for the Tampa Bay side. You can tell the single piece of tape kind of trying to hold them together there. So that's the differences between these two vehicles. Other than that, there is no difference. Same exact model on the field. And one small kind of difference. 47 Ronin, of course, the 2015 MVP. So, Gators with 47 Ronin. Highlight out there for the Wind Attack. Tied at 10. Both cars staying up on the first collision. Two identical models. It is a mirror match. Who remembers old Mortal Kombat games? As these two go head-to-head, and it's going to be Highlight getting the flip. 47 Ronin is down, and that will bring out battle for Tampa Bay. Looking to force overtime. Highlight going for the win. 15-10. Wind Attack in the lead, and not anymore. Battle has a good flip there. Highlight goes down. So the Gators and the Wind Attack in the main event of this May 11th game day are going in overtime, as Rick Jenneret would say. Synchro out there for the Wind Attack, another new addition to their team this season before the trade deadline. They made a little move between them and New Mexico. But out there for the Tampa Bay Gators is Battle, the car with the brain, as he's been called. Can he get the job done here against Synchro? Both cars going at it. Both cars able to stay up on the first few collisions here in overtime. Tied at 15 between the Wind Attack and the Gators, and yes, a little do-si-do there. They'll go back on their own sides. Let me get a close-up shot of that, please. Just keep that stable for. You know what? I want this on my iPod cover now. It's official. That's what I want on my iPod cover. Please be stable enough to get a still shot on that when I do the editing. Please. So we back the cars up, go on their own sides, and they'll go at it again. Synchro and Battle. Still battling it out. No pun intended. But needless to say, the car with the brain is doing the smart thing, staying low and stable, as the Synchro and Battle able to get them off balance, and the win goes to Tampa Bay, 20-15 in overtime. So the Gators just edging out the Chicago Wind Attack, and what a main event here on this May 11th game day. What a game day in general. 20-15 in OT. The Gators getting the win over the Wind Attack. So, Chicago, tough loss for them to take. They go 24-8-0-2. It'll be down to a tiebreaker now between them and the Shinobis for the top spot in the Western Conference, as a matter of fact, with LA just 3 points behind them for the lead. So, or my mistake, no, my apologies, I was incorrect on that. They are 24-7-0-3, overtime loss. My apologies on that. I did correct myself. Overtime loss has them at 24-7-0-3, so they get a point. And that point, folks, helps keep them in first place in the Western Conference. By simply taking the game into overtime, they keep first place in the West. Now, the thing is Idaho can still catch them. Idaho only 11 points behind them now. The thing is they have the ability to get 12 more points. So Chicago will not win a Central Division title just by getting that point. Needless to say, Tampa Bay gets a step closer with that win. They are now 1 point away from becoming the Southeast Division champions for the second straight season. Tampa Bay's win puts them at 19-9-1-5. So that is now the Gators record. Looking ahead to the next game day, what both these teams got on their ballot. If I can say anything, right? If I can get standings right or anything, right? But the Tampa Bay Gators, their next game on tap on the road against the Pittsburgh Destroyers could end up being a first-round playoff matchup. And actually, with New York beating Pittsburgh today, or not beating Pittsburgh, but New York getting a win and Pittsburgh taking the overtime loss, basically what happened is Pittsburgh fell into the 6th seed. So if the season ended today, Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay would be playing against each other in the first round of the playoffs. And the two go head-to-head on the May 13th game day. So that's what comes up for Tampa Bay on the road against Pittsburgh. As for the Chicago Wind Attack, they'll be looking to clinch their division title. The Gators will be looking to clinch their division title, as will Chicago. Only the Wind Attack will be home against the New Mexico Monsters on that May 13th game day. As for the next edition of CDL Live, some teams that are just hanging on, going at it to start things off. From the Western Conference, the Houston Oilers on the road against a team making their CDL Live debut. It might be their only appearance on CDL Live all season, as a matter of fact, on the road against the Indianapolis Reapers. Of course, the Oilers have been on before, but the Reapers, home field advantage for their one and maybe only appearance on CDL Live in 2016. So the Reapers, any Indy Reapers fans out there, any Indianapolis Reapers fans out there, if you want to check it out, May 13th game day, it's the front-running feature there. Then, after that, the middle feature. Classic battle of Western New York. Two teams straight up don't like each other, and the two towns are only a 40 to 45 minute, maybe an hour. Depends on how badly you break the speed limit when you drive. But Gowanda Outlaws on the road against the Buffalo Warriors. And yes, they are only about a drive from. So Gowanda and Buffalo, Northeast Division Showdown. That's our mid-feature. Then our main event, the San Jose Storm on the road against the Los Angeles Blades. Brandon versus Alex. Doesn't get any better than this, folks, with the next game day being the fourth last game day of the regular season. But that being said, 20-15 the final of our main event here. Gators getting the win over the Wind Attack. I'm James Holst, owner and creator of the Car Demolition League, thanking you for watching. And until next time, take care of yourselves, be yourselves, and peace. Let's get a look at those stand-ins. If I could talk right. When you got a sniffly, runny nose, your voice sounds weird. Let's get a look at the stand-ins so I don't have to talk no more. Just jam the music.
Is this a movie? Attack the leaf villages where my crew be. What is it like to be a shinobi. My ninjas feel you for your feel me. Ah, good soup.